Hello, this is Andrine, a Jewish American priestess, and I am here today for a new Hebrew reading. We are going to be reading about the upcoming month, which in the Hebrew tradition is the month of Shevat. And the month of Shevat begins, well, on the 1st of Shevat. In this secular calendar, this year, 2023, it begins on January 23rd, but it corresponds with the lunar cycle. The new moon actually comes in on January 21st, according to my calendar. That's the new moon in Aquarius. But we're going to be doing readings today with the letter Tzadi. And the reason why I've chosen the letter Tzadi is because Tzadi is the letter that is affiliated with the month of Shevat. So we're going to be doing readings today. You get to choose one of these different letter sets, and then we'll be doing readings with the Wildwood Tarot set, the Sovereign Oracle deck, and possibly one of the Nordic runes as well. So I'd like you to choose one of these three Tzadi, and we will move into your readings down below. This is the first one. This is a river rock with Tzadi written on it with silver and black. It's kind of a beautiful little stone. It even has a little bit of a red tip on it up there. Number 2 is an upcycled tile with chrome ink of the letter Tzadi. And Hebrew number 3 is a slice of a branch with the letter Tzadi in wood burning on it. So take a moment to determine which of these 3 letter sets you would like to choose, and then I'll put the timestamps down below, and you can determine the way to get to your reading. And there we'll be doing, like I said, readings with the Wildwood Tarot, the Sovereign Oracle deck, and possibly one of the Nordic runes as well. So I will see you in your reading. Meet you there. Hello, those of you who chose Hebrew number 1, this beautiful river rock, which has like a little red jasper stuck on it and some other lovely coloring. And it is the letter Tzadi, and we've chosen Tzadi today, as I said, because it is the letter affiliated with the month of Shevat. Shevat is coming in. It is this time of year where the sap is rising in the trees. Everything is still bare, but we have this beautiful sap rising, and we can feel it in the air, and the trees know. And the letter Tzadi corresponds to the word tzaddik, which is someone who is righteous, a righteous person. The letter also is the first letter of the word tzedek, which means justice. And thirdly, one of the key words is tzayid, which means hunting, one who hunts. It is corresponding with the foundation of thought. It is the number, well, it is the 18th letter in the Hebrew alphabet, so it's affiliated with life. The number 18 is spelled chai. That's the letter chet, and the letter yud equals 18. And so it does correspond to life as well. But it is the number 90 in Gematria. The number 90 has these special affiliations with it being the age that the matriarch Sarah was when she gave birth to Yitzhak, whose name has a tzadi in it, which indicates that every child has the potential to be a tzaddik. 90 is this ultimate manifestation of the number 9. Anything times 10 makes that ultimate manifestation. So in this case, the letter Tet is the number 9, and the letter Yud is the number 10, and those two multiplied together give us the ultimate manifestation of goodness, Tet meaning Tov, meaning good, and gestation, because the letter Tet corresponds to a womb, as in Sarah giving birth at age 90 to something very good, having waited her whole life to give birth. So it has a lot of correspondences. It is one of the 12 single letters in the Sefer Yetzirah, the book of creation, and it corresponds to the foundation of thought, as I said. It is corresponding to the constellation Aquarius in space, which is the new moon coming in the month of Shevat in the year. It corresponds to the right foot in the body and the tribe of Asher. And Asher means happy. He was the son of Zilpah, who is one of the handmaids of Leah. And she may have been from a different tribe. And so there's a suspicion that she may have named her son Asher to honor the goddess Asherah, or Ashur, which is one of the gods of the trees, which is so appropriate for this time of year when the sap is rising. And I love this story. I love that Asherah may have come to us kind of sneakily in the name of Asher, but it just means happiness, which I love also. In my intuitive understanding of the correspondences from the Hebrunes with the tarot cards, I see Tzadi as corresponding to the justice card, because Tzadik or Tzedek has to do with righteousness and justice. So that's the basic meaning of the Tzadi. We're going to set it off to the side here, maybe up to the top, in fact. And then we're going to pull out some cards from the Wildwood Tarot to talk about what is your month of Shevat going to look like. Now, Shevat is the month in which we celebrate the birthday of the trees. It is the time of year when the trees were counted new, because you weren't allowed to take fruit from a tree that was less than 3 years old in the land. So we had to have a certain date from which they were counted and aged. And so Shevat is that, to be Shevat, which is the 15th of Shevat, is that date. So that's coming up. We've got 2 cards that have come out already, and we're going to pull one more. Ooh, there it goes, all the way to the floor. Okay, those are our 3 cards for your reading. Let's see what's flown out of the deck for you today. We're going to go from the bottom up, because those are the order they came out in. The first one is the 4 of Bows. I love this. Celebration. Wonderful. So this corresponds to the traditional card, the 4 of Wands, which you will see frequently in the tarot as being set up as like a chuppah. It's like a marriage canopy where people are celebrating a happy home. But in this case, I love this because it is bows as in hunting bows, and it's all women dancing around with the fire. And they are having a wonderful celebration. Of course, bows corresponds to the element of fire, but the bows themselves are made out of wood. So here we have this wonderful celebration as part of your month coming up ahead, with the fire and the dancing and the just letting loose, possibly celebrating from a hunt even, which is wonderful because, of course, Tzadi corresponds to that word, Tzayid, which means to hunt. I think that's wonderful. So here we have the 4 of Bows. Celebration is the first card for you. The second card coming out is the Sun of Life. Wonderful. So the Sun card, more fire. And the sun, which is, of course, the source of which all trees get their food. It's turning sunlight into actual matter. So here we have the source as our second card. So beautiful. And our third card is the Nine of Stones, tradition. And the Nine of Stones corresponds to the traditional card in tarot, the Nine of Pentacles. And I love that too, because you've chosen the stone today as your tzadi. The Nine of Stones, in this particular card, we have a hermit type person sitting amongst some very tall pillars. They've got antlers on their head and a snake in their left hand, and it looks like a torque in their right hand, sort of necklace. The Nine of Stones is about being content, having received very, very much, and feeling very content in one's own garden. So those are your three cards today, and I just love that. I'm getting a lot of glare from this lamp, so I'm just going to move it. That will help. Now we have shadow. That's okay. Scooch them over. Much better. So I'm just going to read these cards kind of as a whole. We're not going to do any time frames around this, but for the month of Shevat coming up, but not like past, present, future or anything. So what I'm seeing here is a wonderful celebration, that there's been some amazing hunt that has been completed, that perhaps prior or in this month you'll be searching for something and you will have captured it. That once you do, with your family, with your tribe, you will come together in some form of celebration. Now, traditionally, there is no festival, feast, celebration for Tu B'Shvat, but some people in the last few years have started doing Tu B'Shvat Seders, where we bring together the different kinds of fruits of trees, nuts and citrus and apples and all kinds of other, pit fruits, all the different kinds of fruits, and having a Seder where one tastes all these different types of fruits. It's difficult in the winter possibly to find all of those, but in our modern society, maybe not impossible. So maybe that's the thing, coming together to celebrate a Tu B'Shvat celebration where you have hunted down the fruits and brought them together. And sit around a bonfire and feel the warmth of that fire in the midst of this winter season and celebrate with your friends and family. We have the sun, which is a wonderful thing to celebrate also, because like I said, it is the source. It is the food of the trees. And it is the source of turning sunlight into food. So we have the sun, the source energy. And I'm going to look at this a little closer. We can see that we have a person with the sun bursting through from their chest as they expose their body to the sun. Below them, behind them on the hill, you can see a horse or some kind of animal. And then these stones with swirls and flowers bursting into bloom beneath their feet. And I just think it's wonderful to have that energy, that source energy, which just, is a definite yes card. Something this month is going to just say yes to you. And you can say yes right back. Some form of justice or righteousness or having found the hunt. I think that for this reading, it seems to be that the hunt is more about what's up. And for the Nine of Stones with tradition, it is about planting a garden. It's about coming together. It's about doing ritual, about finding what works for you and celebrating your garden, celebrating your space, your sacred space, in whatever way makes sense to you right now. And I like that we've got the, you know, these cards are very fiery and hot, but this one seems really cold, and yet the sun is coming up over those stones, shedding light on this person who is sitting here. We've got the snake in one hand, which is a symbol of virility and fertility. The antlers, which are a symbol of protection. And the age of the person would indicate that they are a sage, a very wise person. Maybe perhaps a tzaddik themselves, who has spent a lot of time contemplating. The 18th letter of the alphabet corresponding to life, chai. It is said that a tzaddik is one who fills their life with purpose. And being a tzaddik may bring about a long life, very much like our character in the third card here. So our month of Shevat looks pretty wonderful right now for you. I just noticed that there's another card that hit the floor and I missed it. I'm going to pick it up. I wasn't intending to do 4 cards, but here it is nonetheless. What have we got? Oh, it's the pole star. Nice. Okay, so the pole star is the North Star. Corresponds to the star card. So it's about hope and moving forward, following your path. You can see this person is walking along the path into the woods to all these magical, amazingly large trees. And up above is the star guiding the way with all of these other stars zooming around it. So that's another confirmation that this is going to be an amazing month, that you have both the sun and the star. Wow, that's pretty spectacular. I'm going to pull out one more card for clarity from the Sovereign Oracle deck. Let's give it a little shuffle here. There it is. Huh. Okay. And your card says temper. Tune the instrument. Manage your emotions diligently. Don't get derailed by mania, depression, or burnout. Pace yourself. Trust it will come to you with right timing. That's a wonderful card for Tzadi here. Because sometimes it takes patience to find justice, to be a tzaddik, to be a righteous person. And I think I promised a Nordic rune as well. So I'm going to pull out one of these tiny guys from the bag. See what comes up for us today. Go. And we have the letter Kenaz. So great, because it basically corresponds to the sun. Kenaz is it's a torch, and we have like all these torches, all these wands over here, bows as they call them in this deck. We have the sun itself, which is expanding its light. We have the star, which is also expanding light, and the sun coming up behind these stones as well. So Kenaz is about enlightenment, being able to see what is coming ahead. Kenaz is associated with creativity, illumination, self-knowledge, and vision. And those are great associations having to do with tzaddikim as well. So for those of you who chose the stone tzaddi today, this has been your reading. It looks like a fabulous month for you, Shevat, with celebration, source energy, guidance, tradition, and your advice seems to be to tune your instruments, pace yourself, and trust that it will come with right timing. And through that, you'll have vision and enlightenment. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed your reading, and I will hopefully see you here next time. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Hello, friends who chose the upcycled tile and chrome ink Tzadi. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the letter Tzadi. It is the 18th letter of the alphabet in Hebrew, which makes it affiliated with the word chai, which means life. 8 being chet and yud being 10, coming together to create the number 18. So it is affiliated with life, but its keywords are righteousness, as in a tzaddik, who is someone who is righteous, and justice, which is tzedek. It also corresponds to the word tzayid, which means hunting, as though hunting for goodness in the world. It corresponds to the foundation of thought in the Sefer Yetzirah, which is the book of creation, talks about each of the letters. And it is affiliated with the number 90. 90 being the ultimate manifestation of the number 9. 9 is the letter tet, tet being a container or a womb of some sort, and also the first letter of the word tov. So it's like this ultimate manifestation of good gestation, which is interesting because the matriarch Sarah was 90 years old when she gave birth to Yitzhak, who also has a tzadi in his name, and which would indicate that every child who's born has the ability to become a tzaddik. And it is about hunting because it's about hunting for the divine in the world. It is someone who maybe gives charity, tzedakah, and it is, some say that it looks like a bent over nun with a yud on its back. So it's about, nun is about humility, and yud is the first letter of the divine name. So it's like being humble, but having the divine at your back. So that's what makes up a tzaddik. So that's the basic explanation of what tzadi is. It is corresponding with the month of Shevat. It is corresponding with the constellation Aquarius, which is the new moon we have coming up, the right foot in the body, and the tribe of Asher. And Asher means happy. And Asher was the son of Zilpah, who is one of the handmaid of Leah, the matriarch who was the first wife of Yaakov, Jacob. And it said that Zilpah belonged to possibly a different tribe, and she may have named her son Asher in honor of the goddess Asherah. And Asherah is associated with trees, which is wonderful because, of course, Shevat is the month that celebrates the birthday of the trees. We have to have a time of year when we measure the age of the trees because certain trees are not allowed to be harvested until they're 3 years old. So our holiday for this month is Tu B'Shvat. It is the birthday of the trees. It's the 15th of Shevat. So I love that Asherah has sneaked in here in kind of some special way, that she is celebrated by, she's basically the one who dwells within the trees. And I love that this is time of the year where the sap is rising within the trees. So all of these things coming around to this one letter, Tzadi. So we're going to set the Tzadi up here, hopefully in a place where we can see it. It's a little bit shiny, so it's hard to... And we're going to pull out 3 cards from the Wildwood Tarot deck to see what our month of Shevat is going to be like for you. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle, and we're using the Wildwood Tarot because it's about, wood. It's about trees. Shevat is all about the trees. Oh, those 4. My goodness. Okay. Well, we got 4. They fell right off the top. Let's just take them because they wanted to be here. We'll start from the first one here. Let's see what we've got. We have the 5 of Arrows. The 5 of Arrows corresponds to the traditional card, the 5 of Swords. And in this particular, it says frustration. In this particular card, we have a horned goat who is leaping, and someone who is shooting 5 arrows at it and missing every time. So the goat's doing fine, but the hunter maybe a little frustrated. And since Tzadi is about the hunt, maybe there's a little frustration with your hunt this month. Let's see what the other cards say. The second card we've got coming out is the Forest Lovers. This card, corresponds to the Lovers card. So there may be some frustration in a hunt for food, but it looks like a hunt for love may be coming together for you. We have these two characters coming together around this maypole, hand-fasted, holding their hearts, standing amongst these lily, I was going to say Jack-in-the-Pulpit flowers, which are very sex organ-like. So here we have the Lovers. That's a beautiful card to come up for this month of Shevat. I love that they've got the tree wrapped in ribbon. The third card is the Queen of Stones, the bear. And the Queen of Stones is the Queen of Pentacles. She's a very earthy, beautiful, and powerful queen. And in this deck, she shows up as the bear, which is one of the most powerful animals in the forest, looking out toward the sun. So that's a brilliant card. I'm going to scooch these over. And then what's our fourth card here? The fourth card, we have the Ten of Bows. Okay, responsibility. And in this card, we have a person carrying all 10 bows on their back up to the top of this precipice where I see a campfire smoking in the distance. And bows are wands, and they are about fire. And I believe these are actually hunting bows, though. I don't think they're for burning. But it is a responsibility to carry those all the way to the top. So let's take a look. Let me get this out of the shadow here and see what these cards seem to be saying for you. So how it appears to me is that there is some kind of hunt that is going on, but it's frustrating, at least if you are the hunter. If you're the goat, you're doing fine, like I said, because we have this goat that is leaping to freedom, and maybe you are the goat in this situation. I'm not going to judge. That the hunter is hunting and the goat is getting away. There are 5 arrows that are being shot. In the traditional 5 of Swords, there is a sort of a loss of some sort, and there is frustration here for the hunter. As I said, for the goat, everything is great. But we do have the Forest Lovers, so there's some kind of union, possibly just learning to love yourself, but it seems like it could also be the beginning of a partnership, possibly a love relationship, that two people have come together and formed a union despite the frustrations. And we have the Queen of Stones here, the bear card. And the Queen of Stones, again, is a really powerful queen. She is down to earth. She is able to manage money. She's very good with material things. So although we've got some frustration with this arrows, and arrows are about thought, they're about communication as well. So maybe there's been some frustration with communication. And we're moving forward into a union, but we have some real strong groundedness here with the bear. She is solid. She is in charge. She is able to fight for justice. If you've ever had a mother bear, or if you've ever encountered a person who's like a mother bear, you know how strong and powerful she is toward justice. And it requires a lot of responsibility. So there is some burden here that you have to carry up to help out with your village, with your campfire up here at the top. Perhaps bringing more bows so that we can hunt a little better. Perhaps being the one who is responsible for ensuring that the tribe becomes nourished. And as a hunter, there's some frustration as a human hunter, but as a bear, there's less frustration. You're able to capture and win your prey, whatever it is. So maybe it's time to tune into the animal nature and set down some of these responsibilities, set down some of the human kind of hunting, and go back toward animal hunting, going back toward following your heart, because what we're trying to do with words or with thought is not working. So go toward your heart, find yourself grounded, and maybe lay down some of this responsibility that you've got coming, because it's really not serving you as it. You're putting out more than you're getting back, and that's what I see as the justice issue here. All right. So in addition to that, we're going to take out one card from our Sovereign Oracle deck to get a little bit of clarity about this reading. And I'll just shuffle until we get one that jumps out. And that looks like this is our guy. Authenticity. Wonderful. You are who you are now in your entirety is worthy and enough. Resist the urge to pretend. Life is asking for more of your truth. Do it your way. I love that in conjunction with this. You can be righteous. You can search for justice. You can be the bear. You can be the goat. You don't need to conform. Do it your own way. Maybe don't cop to whatever responsibilities people are trying to put on you, but instead find your own way. Find yourself grounded, follow your heart, and that will bring you to authenticity and to justice and righteousness. I'm going to additionally pull out one of these Nordic runes to see what's coming up for you. And we have the letter Nauthiz. Nauthiz is about need. It's about taking care of one's needs. It's about necessities. Getting at the bare necessities here. It's about constraint, resistance, and caution. Maybe there'll be some conflicts and the desire to overcome them, and maybe some delays as well. But whatever the case may be with the need and necessity that you're nurturing here, it's really important to be authentic. Above all else, follow your heart. Put down some of your responsibility. Become that mother bear who can protect the young. And all will come to justice in the end. For those of you who chose the tile, Tzadi, this has been your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I will see you here next time. Chodesh Tov. Happy month. Hello, friends who've chosen the number 3 tzadi, which is made out of wood burned. And you get a special bonus because on the back of this is the Paleo Hebrew of the tzadi that is, it's said to be a person reclining. It may be about desire or need. I'm not 100% clear about the pictogram here, but it's said to be a person lying down. So the tzadi, on this side, it's said to look like a nun with a yud on its back. And the letter nun is about humility, and the letter yud is the first letter of the divine name. So it's like being humble with the divine at your back. And the letter tzadi itself is the letter that begins the word tzadik, which means righteous person, and the word tzedek, which means justice. Additionally, it begins the word Zaid, which means hunting. It is the foundation of thought in the Sefer Yetzirah, which is the book of creation. And it is said to be affiliated with life because it is the 18th letter of the Aleph Bet. However, it is the number 90 in Gematria. And 90 is what one might say the ultimate manifestation of the number 9. And the number 9 is the letter Tet. Tet is the first letter of the word Tov, which means good. And it is also said to be a womb or a vessel. So it's the ultimate manifestation of something good being gestated, because 10 times anything is its ultimate manifestation. So Tzadi can be said to be the ultimate manifestation of good gestation. And it is the number of years that Sarah was when she gave birth to Yitzhak. And Yitzhak has the letter Tzadi in his name. Some say that that is because every child has the ability to be a tzaddik if they dedicate themselves in their life to good works. So that's the skinny on the tzadi. A righteous person is a tzaddik. Justice is tzedek. Charity is tzedakah. And Said is hunting, because a tzaddik is always hunting for good or divinity in the world. It is one of the 12 single letters in the Sefer Yetzirah. Again, it corresponds to the foundation of thought. It is the constellation Aquarius, which is our new moon coming up, and it is the month of Shevat in the year. Now, the month of Shevat is about the sap rising in the trees. It does include the birthday of the trees, the Tu B'Shvat, which is the 15th of Shevat. It is the day that they recognize that a tree is a year older. And that matters because some trees you cannot harvest until they're 3 years old. And so you have to age the trees by counting. And so this is the day that is considered the birthday of the trees. It is the right foot in the body. And it corresponds to the tribe of Asher. Asher, which means happy. Asher was the son of Zilpah, who is the handmaid of Leah and the son of Yaakov. And some say that Zilpah may have been belonged to a different tribe. And so she named her son Asher in honor of Asherah, the goddess of the trees. And I love that. I love that Asherah has sneaked in to the names of the tribes of Israel. It corresponds to in my understanding of it, the tarot card of justice, because of tzaddik, which is about fairness, balance, ethics, and accountability. And in the runes, in the Nordic runes, it corresponds to the rune Tewaz, who is the god Tyr, and he has to do with justice, duty, and will. So that's Tzadi for you. We're going to set that up here. And today we're going to pull out 3 cards from the Wildwood Tarot deck. And I chose the Wildwood because of the trees. So we're going to see if we can get 3 cards today that will have to do with our coming month of Shevat for you, and this sap rising in this time of year. Let's see, 1. There's 2. Oop, that one flipped. 2. 3, and I'm going to go with 4 since we had those flip over in the deck. So we're doing 4 today, apparently. I was hoping to do 3, and every reading ended up with 4. Okay, let's see what our cards are today. We'll start with the first one that came out. And we have the Ace of Bows. I love that. That's spark of life. So this corresponds to the traditional tarot card Ace of Wands. Wands are wood, and they are of the trees. And the Ace of Wands is about fire. And you can see in this particular card, the spark of life, we have this bow drill making fire in this tinder down here. So wonderful way to light things up. The aces are always about a new beginning. And in this particular case, we have a new beginning of a fire starting, something really exciting. And I love the picture on this of the bow drill and the smoke rising up to the heavens here inside the wood. We have a stone down below as well. So that's a wonderful card to start with, the Ace of Bows. Our second card here is the Pole Star. So this is corresponding to the Star card. And you can see that it is a guiding star. It is the North Star. It's the star that guides the way for those who are navigating. And in this particular card, we have a person walking into the woods, guided by the star here. The star is about hope. And new beginnings after, it's the card that comes after the Tower card. So it's about new beginnings after something possibly has been destroyed. And the Star card does correspond to Aquarius. It's the card that corresponds to the constellation Aquarius. So that is wonderful as well, since we're coming up on new moon of Aquarius. Our third card is the Eight of Arrows. It says struggle. And so this corresponds to the traditional card Eight of Swords. And in that card we have a blindfolded person who is surrounded by swords all around them, and they're feeling incredibly lost and kind of a victim mentality. This one looks like they look frightened, and they've got a lantern and a staff, but there's a bunch of arrows that have at least missed them. So despite the worries and struggles in the snow here, this person doesn't appear to be injured. Just a lot of broken arrows around. So there's some kind of struggle. And then our fourth card coming out is the Three of Bows, fulfillment. So the Three of Wands would normally be about setting off. And this one I love. She's standing, I'm assuming it's a she, maybe not, standing in front of a tree. And she's got this cloak, but up the front of the dress we have these two snakes that are twined around each other, like the caduceus, like the healing that goes on from the snakes in like the medical establishment, and also the ancient story of the copper snake in the Torah that was held up for healing purposes for the Hebrew people. And in this, it's interesting, we've got three of bows. One bow is strung, and the other two are just stuck in the ground like staffs. But I do believe they're bows that could be used for hunting as well. And this person is on the path. They seem to be either telling someone to stop or just waving hi. We don't know. So those are our four cards today. Let me scooch these over so they're not in shadow. Let's take a look. So as I'm reading it, we have a fiery new beginning. So maybe starting off the month with the month of Shevat, the month that starts with the new moon of Aquarius. And we have the star card, which is Aquarius, right here. We have a fiery new start of the month of Aquarius with a guiding light, bringing us toward something new. This fire that we're starting ourselves. It may be our guiding light, leading us into the forest, on the path. And there is a struggle. There's a struggle. Walking any path is a struggle. We have this Eight of Arrows. And as I said, the traditional tarot card for the Eight of Swords is about a victim mentality. It's like feeling stuck, feeling like you're victimized, but not actually being victimized. There is this thought process that comes with the idea of, having been attacked. And it's not to say the attack wasn't real. It is real. But the wounds don't appear to be here. I don't see the wounds in this card. I don't see the arrows having struck anywhere. That doesn't mean it's not terrifying. The struggle is real, but there is no arrow that has struck this person. There's just fear and having to move forward in this challenging situation. And I don't mean to say just to minimize it, but to be actually aware of the reality of the situation, that yes, there was an attack, but there is no wound. And so it's safe to move forward. And it's necessary to move forward because you don't want to be stuck in the snow. You don't want to be stuck in that place where somebody's shooting at you. It's time to move on. Maybe to get out of the snow, get into a sheltered place and start a fire. That seems to be the right thing to do right now. And with the Three of Bows, it is about moving forward. The Three of Wands is about having made a plan and setting out, moving forward on it. So when you've started your fire here, use it as a guiding light. Don't get stuck in your victim mentality and just continue moving on. You will find fulfillment here, despite the struggle. You've got a spark of life. You've got a guiding star. You've got hope. You've got to move forward, and you need to move forward. Set your fire, stay warm, get away from these arrows. Arrows are about thought. They're about thought and speech. So if somebody has cast a bunch of nasty words at you, just walk away, continue forward, take your fire with you and your lantern and move on to the next thing. And you will find healing here. You've got fulfillment and you've got the snakes, the caduceus saying this is about healing. And so despite any struggles you may encounter this coming month, know that you'll find fulfillment if you continue to move forward. If you continue on your path, if you continue to follow the star through the woods, take your fire with you. Don't let it go out. And then you will come out of the woods, out into this broad space, maybe up higher on a mountain. I want to bring this up again so we can see it better. It looks like this is a high place. Up near the clouds, you can see the air back here. That you will find fulfillment, maybe camaraderie, because this person is clearly raising a hand to someone coming toward them, maybe you coming toward them. We have camaraderie coming here. Try to see what that is down there. Is that a bird? It looks like that may be a bird over here, down in the lower left. But whatever the case is, we've got this. We've met a high ground. We're at a crossroads here, where two roads converge or diverge, and maybe a choice point. But we've got that healing, that fulfillment that is coming once we've reached that place. But we do need to move forward to get there. So that seems to be what this is about in the month of Shevat. It's all happening. It's all happening in the woods. It's all happening with the wood. We've got wands. We've got a wooded space with stars. We've got arrows and a frozen river, but a tree that is really barren in the winter. And that's the time we're in, and at least in this hemisphere, is we're in this winter time where we can't see the growth that's happening underneath, but this is the time of year when the sap rises and it starts to flow. And then we come to healing. And I would like to pull out one of these Sovereign Oracle cards to get a little bit more clarity for you about what is righteous, what is justice, what is coming for you, what are we hunting for here. We've got the bow, we're hunting for fire and light, clearly. We've got 3 bows up here, so some kind of hunt is on. And let's see if we can get some more clarity here. Just one card, please. One card, please. Oop, too many cards. Okay, we're going to tuck these away and take the one that landed on top. And we have foundation. Perfect. I lay the concrete first, establish patterns, create coherency and stability, Know that you deserve sustainability. Allow it in. Beautiful. So we have a foundation here. Foundation of justice, a foundation of righteousness. That in our foundation we have a spark of life. We have the pole star to find our way. That we are laying the concrete and establishing our patterns and moving forward and knowing we deserve the health and the stability and the fulfillment that is coming for us. I also promise to have one Nordic rune, and I'm just going to reach in my bag and see what comes out for you as our final seal on this reading. And we have Ansus, which I think is perfect for this. Ansus is about communication. So it is about the divine, or the leader, a chieftain. Like it's traditionally corresponds to the god Odin, but it's about your mind, your voice, your will, listening to your inner voice, seeing the signs and inspirations and true vision towards self-knowledge. So for those of you who chose the wooden tzadi today, remember your foundation. Remember to trust your inner voice. Take that fire, spark it up, follow the star as you walk into Aquarius here. Although there may be a struggle, know that you just keep moving forward. Take your fire with you, walk away from the area where the arrows are coming at you, and find your tribe and your healing as you move forward into Shevat. So for those of you who chose that tzadi, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I hope that I'll see you here again. Please like if you liked it, and subscribe if you'd like to, and I would love to see you next time. Chodesh Tov. Happy month.